Hello everybody. Last time I showed you the kinds of tones that you could get using a system called the Universal Audio Apollo. The downside of that system is twofold. One, the price. Number two, though, when I chose those settings, everything I did went straight to the recording console. So if I change my mind about, let's say, the equalizer settings or the tone, I can't do anything about it after it's recorded. The plugins I'm about to show you have a couple of distinct advantages to a podcaster. Number one, they're much more cost effective. Number two, if you don't like the choices that you make, you just come back in and you change them, and then you reprint or recut your MP3 file. So it's you don't have to re-record the whole thing. Now I've got some audio here that I recorded straight to a $200 Tascam recorder. So very cost effective. You could have just as easily recorded it straight to your digital audio workstation on your computer. But the point is, there's no processing whatsoever. So I've got the raw files. Then I've got free plugins that you can download. Then I've got a couple of examples of plugins that came with, in my case, Apple Logic. But almost every digital audio workstation comes with some free plugins. Then I get into the ones you can buy from companies like Waves, Brainworx, TubeTech, all the way up to showing you how that would compare to the Universal Audio plugins. And you can decide for yourself, which ones do you like? What do you like the sound of? What might you like to experiment with? And this is just a small sample of the stuff that's out there. Let's have a listen to the raw file. Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using no expensive tools, All right, so that's with nothing on it. Now I'm going to switch midstream and compare it to some free plugins by a company called Tokyo Dawn Records. One is their compressor called the Kotelnikov, and the other one is their their EQ called SlickEQ. And this is what's known as a character EQ. It doesn't let you choose a specific frequency and then surgically cut just that frequency. It's got like a certain tone to it. I'll do a separate video on how to use compressors and equalizers, but this is what's called a character EQ. It's meant to sound like a well-known piece of equalizer hardware, whereas this compressor, from what I've read, is not. It's just supposed to sound good. So let's see what kind of results we can get from it. And I've also got a low-cost compressor. This is, I think, available for like 30 to 50 bucks if I'm not wrong, especially on sale. By a company called Klanghelm, and this compressor is called the MJUC. It's a great sounding compressor. Once again, it is a character piece, so it's trying to emulate compressors that audio professionals would know about because they've got a pleasing tone. Let's have a listen to what we can achieve. So starting again with the raw files. Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using no tools, no Universal Audio interfaces, nothing but a nice microphone and a Tascam DR field recorder. This thing's loaded up with 3 AA batteries, and I have my condenser microphone plugged. If you have good headphones or speakers going, you should be able to tell that the process signal is a little hotter, a little more aggressive, and a little warmer. Let's try swapping out the two compressors. These are, again, the low-cost or free compressors, so I'll go from the free one to the low-cost one. Let's check it out. Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using no expensive tools, no Universal Audio interfaces, nothing but a nice microphone. That's a great sounding vintage vibe. It's nice and warm and bloomy, and it is present yet soft. And I like the tone of that, and that's about $30 worth of investment. These TDR plugins, you can buy the extended version of them. However, I do believe that they are free to try and free to use. All right, let's switch from the free ones to the ones that come with Logic. These are the cheapo, presumably crappy ones that come built in. So they're not pretty, they're hard to use, but they actually sound okay. I actually got a really nice sound out of this. Now, by the way, I'm applying very similar settings on both. So wherever possible, I'm trying to keep things as equal as I can. They don't sound the same. They're not supposed to sound the same, but I think they all sound good. Let's try these stock ones. So first, with no processing.
Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using tools, no universal audio interfaces, nothing but a nice microphone and a Tascam DR40 portable recorder. This thing's loaded up with 3 AA batteries, and that's it. And I have my condenser microphone plugged straight into the...
So that one's a bit deceptive because it's a touch louder, but it's also very precise, very clean. It's not very tubey or very warm, but it gets the job done. All right, let's move right along to the good ones that come with Apple Logic. This compressor is actually an amazing sounding piece. It's got a bunch of choices to emulate various pieces of classic studio gear. So again, this is meant to be a character compressor. The equalizer that they've just released in the latest version of Logic emulates really high-end equalizers. In this case, the vintage TubeTech emulates something called a Pultec EQ. And I've got models of it in the Universal Audio platform as well. And I have to tell you, this is darn close. This is a nice sounding equalizer. Let's check out the two of these together. First on the original source.
Beyond the software delivery community. Inherent in that also is that you need more than agile skills. You need to become a badass person. You need to become an agile person, and then you can deliver massive value to your clients. Podcasts exist for artists and entrepreneurs and people who in general are looking to change. So I want to give you, in many cases, the exact same tools and techniques.
That has a very nice vintage vibe. It's got some tubey warmness. It's got an aggressive mid-range. Now, I like that because I'm looking for a badass tone, right? This is just me doing the podcast. It's a solo cast. So I want something that sounds authoritative, that sounds edgy, and I really like the tone I can get with those two completely in-the-box plugins. It's completely included with the price of Apple Logic. Now let's move on to a company called Waves. Waves makes great sounding stuff. In many cases, a lot of people slam Waves. They shouldn't. They're a great plugin company, and some of the best compressors and EQs they've ever made are part of something called the Renaissance series. This is over 10 years old, but they still sound great today. Let's check these two out. So we'll start with the raw track.
Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using no expensive tools, no interfaces, nothing but a nice microphone and a Tascam DR40 portable field recorder. This thing's loaded with 3 AA batteries, and that's it. And I have my microphone plugged straight into the device.
So what I hear there is a little bit of additional warmth, not a ton of edge, not a ton of tube feel, but it's got nice character and it's subtle. So it's not over the top anything, and you really can't hear it doing its job, but it's definitely doing it. Let's switch to another more recent compressor in the Waves line, which emulates something that I used on the UAD platform a lot called the LA2A. So this is a really simple, again, character compressor. Let's check out how it sounds against the original.
Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using tools, no universal audio interfaces, nothing but a nice microphone and a Tascam DR40 portable field recorder. This thing's loaded up with 3 AA batteries, and that's it. And I have my condenser microphone plugged straight into the...
That does a great job of imitating the punch of the LA2A. It makes for a very cool sound. Now here's another Waves plugin that's just come out, and the introductory price was unbelievable. It was about $50 for this. The regular price is about $150. I've only included the thump section of the preamp just to add. I didn't like what the equalizer was doing with the bass, so I used this thump feature, and it works really cool. And the compressor. So again, I've chosen a certain kind of compressor, character compressor called an opto compressor, which is the LA2A that we just checked out. And then I've set my equalizer to be similar to all of the other ones we've heard so far. Let's check this out. Let's start with dry.
Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using no expensive tools, universal audio interfaces, nothing but a nice microphone and our 40 portable field recorder. This thing's loaded up with 3 AA batteries. and I have my condenser microphone plugged straight into.
Definitely some nice low end there, a nice smooth round tone. That's not a bad deal. That's a pretty decent piece of plugin. Let's switch to another manufacturer. Brainworx has created an emulation of an entire console channel strip, which means you get the equalizer, the compressor, along with the gate and some other features all in one module. So I actually don't need two plugins for this one. There's just one. BX Console N runs on sale probably about $150, but regular price can go as high as $300. Let's hear how the Brainworx N sounds compared to the raw track.
Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using no expensive tools, no universal audio interfaces, a nice microphone, and a Tascam DR40 portable field recorder. This thing's loaded up with 3 AA batteries, and that's it. Phone plugged straight into the device, no processing, no nothing. So the purpose of this recording is to show you what it can sound like.
So that's a character equalizer and character compressor as well, but it's not the same kind of vintage character that some of the other ones are trying to emulate. This is meant to be very smooth and relatively clean. It does a good job of that. This is a nice sounding plugin, but it doesn't really add a lot of aggression or air or any of the other features I'm looking for. So I've definitely used this plugin, but it doesn't have everything I want in one place. Very cool, very clean sounding plug though. Let's check out another one that I love using. This one's by Softube, and it is an emulation of, again, a vintage piece of hardware called a TubeTech equalizer and TubeTech compressor. Both are on the same strip as before, so everything you need is in one plugin, and it has a nice tubey, aggressive tone, but regular price, this goes well over $300, so you want to get this on sale. Let's check out the clean.
Person, and then you can deliver massive value to your clients. The Fuse Chamber podcasts exist and entrepreneurs and people who in general are looking to change the world. So I want to give you, in many cases, the exact same techniques, but the skills that you need as an artist or entrepreneur to build the life that you really want. So you love most in this world, you can make your impact.
Oh man, I love that one. If you're listening with headphones, you may have noticed it brought it right up into your ears. It's very in your face and it's very warm. That is a really cool sounding plugin. Let's compare all this now to the universal audio stuff that I mentioned before. This is the one where you need the, $1,300 piece of hardware and then $300 a piece for the plugins if you're lucky, or if they're not on sale. Let's try with nothing.
Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using no expensive tools, no universal audio interfaces, nothing but and a Tascam DR40 portable field recorder. This thing's loaded up with 3 AA batteries, and that's it. Condenser microphone plugged straight into the device, no processing, no nothing. The purpose of this recording is to show you what it can sound like without using.
So again, you can really hear the difference on that one. It's got a nice tubey/tapey feel, partly thanks to an emulation of a preamp called the Manley Voxbox, coupled with our old friend the LA2A emulation. That is a really nice sounding combo. But let's run through them all again. This time we'll start with the universal audio, and then we'll run through from low cost all the way up to high cost, and take a listen and see which ones you like. Okay, so uninterrupted, one after the other. Let's start clean, then go to universal audio, and then run through left to right.
Hello, everybody. Chris Williams here. I am recording a podcast today using no expensive tools, no universal audio interfaces, nothing but a nice microphone, Tascam DR40 portable field recorder. This thing's loaded up with 3 AA batteries, and I have my condenser microphone plugged straight into the device, no processing, no nothing. So the purpose of this recording is to show you what it can sound like without using any expensive tools, just really easily available stuff that doesn't put you out a ton of your pocket money, so you can get started podcasting on the cheap and get great results. What I'll do is just record some short audio for that purpose today. And what I'll do is state the mission statement of my two podcasts. Badass Agile Podcast exists to create an elite tribe of leaders, can take principles and bring them back to their leadership game, and then bring that leadership to their teams, to their clients, to their products, and to the world. The concept is that.
So there you go. I mean, these all sound good to me. Obviously, among my favorites are going to be the TubeTech, but I also really like what the Waves Renaissance brought to the table. It had some character without being overbearing. I love the DAW Vintage. I thought it did a great job. And funnily enough, the DAW Stock, to me, not a character type of setup, but it gets the job done, man. It's nice and present and crisp. So any of these would be excellent choices for your podcasting needs for compressors and equalizers. Hope that helps, guys. Any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. That is at badass_agile or at FuseChamber on Twitter, or you can find me at badassagile.com or fusechamber.com. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time.